You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Welcome to the big show, my family and friends. We certainly appreciate you guys being here. The big podcast in the sky. It's just up there. If you look up, and you're walking around in the daytime, you just look up and they're like, hey, I think I can see it. Or maybe that's the moon. I don't know. It's up there somewhere, I hear in the cloud. But the Chris Voss Show is always around you and on any mobile device, wherever you want. In fact, tell your family and friends to register to subscribe to the show, because they'll be smarter and then they won't annoy you quite as much. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, youtube.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, the big 130,000 LinkedIn group over there. Subscribe to the big LinkedIn newsletter. And you can see us now on TikTok, Chris Voss 1, the Chris Voss Show podcast, and my dog's over there. Well, Chris Voss's Huskies. Today we have an amazing gentleman on the show. He's going to be talking to us about his brand and how he built it and how he did it and all that good stuff. David Goodman is on the show with us today. He's the Vice President of Marketing for Advantice Health. Do I have that right? Advantice Health. There we go. It's the parent of a company called Kerasal. And we'll get into what that is and how it works. Advantice Health is a rapidly growing OTC company based in Cedar Hills, New Jersey, and is a well-known portfolio of brands including Kerasal, Amlactin, Triple Paste, Dermoplast, New Skin, and Domeboro.
You got it.
There you go. I'm taking a stab at all these. I'm just learning my whole new English language course here. David is a brand marketing leader with a unique combination of experience and leadership roles in large companies. He worked at Reckitt, Novartis, Bayer, as well as in a smaller PE-owned organization. Under his guidance, brands receive significant experience driving growth on established brands such as Lysol, Alka-Seltzer, Aleve, Bayer, Aspirin, MiraLax, etc., as well as for emerging equities. I think he just described my whole medicine cabinet right there. Welcome to the show, David. How are you?
I'm great, Chris. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it as well. Give us the .coms. Where can we look this up on the internet and find out more about it?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find, Kerasal.com. We also have presence on Facebook and Instagram and on Amazon as well.
There you go. And we got a whole case of Kerasal stuff that came in yesterday. So thank you very much for that. And my mom was really excited to see it. So tell us what Kerasal is and what we'll be talking about today.
Yeah, terrific. Thanks again for having me. Yeah, so Kerasal is a brand that spans multiple components within foot care. So we have products that improve the appearance of fungus-damaged nails or aging nails, or nails that have just been thick and discolored and have gotten damaged over the years, or from a fungal infection. We also have a broad line of just foot moisturizers, exfoliants, foot masks, foot soaks. We even have a foot wash that you could keep in your shower. So we're all about making feet look healthy and beautiful and feel good.
You know, I had times where if I don't wear socks around the carpet, I have dogs, so they're always tracking in dirt. And if I don't wear socks all the time and I'm walking around barefoot, my feet will get really dirty and dry. Like painfully dry. I've had to get, I have to slap on some Vaseline or something to get them in. Sometimes do an Epsom soak as well. And I noticed one of the products you sent to us was kind of an Epsom, I think, material with some tea tree oil. And I think tea tree oil is in much of your guys' products. Is that correct? Or
yeah, that's true. Yeah, tea tree oil has some really nice natural and healing properties, and it helps soothe dry, cracked feet and heels. So we have a foot soak, as you mentioned. In fact, that's similar to an Epsom salt, but in addition to kind of helping soothe and calm your feet, it actually helps your feet look better as well. So it's both a kind of a functional as well as an aesthetic type of benefit that you get from it.
There you go. Do you have any products for dry, cracked old brains like mine?
I would love to come up with that, because I could certainly benefit from that as well.
I know some people. You could sell millions of dollars with that stuff, especially to politicians. So there you go. So have you been with this brand since it got developed? How did you get started involved with them?
Yeah, so I've been with this company for about the past 4 years or so, but Kerasal's been around for several decades, actually. It has a really neat heritage. In fact, it was first sold by podiatrists, and the intensive foot repair product was really the original product that was sold by podiatrists, and so it's got a really nice doctor heritage, and doctors really got behind it, because when they would look at some of their patients' feet, they would see dry, cracked heels, and so they would actually give it right to their patients right there. And the beauty of it is that it really makes the feet moisturized, it exfoliates them, so it removes that dry, like cracked skin, and it reveals healthy, beautiful skin. And it actually, after just one use, you start to see a difference.
That's really important. Like I say, I've had the dried skin where it's painful. It hurts. Like it's raw, and then you look at it and you're like, man, my feet are dehydrated. So it seems like the obvious question to ask, but it's also kind of funny. Why is taking care of your feet important, eh?
Yeah. Well, you have your feet with you for your whole life, and
really,
and they can get kind of beat up, and sometimes it's not necessarily intuitive to actually give them the special love and attention that they so deserve, and they're really kind of, pardon the pun, the soul of your body. So it's really important to take good care of your feet, and that's what Kerasal is really all about, is taking you on that journey and making sure your feet are healthy and look beautiful, and they feel really good, and so that's what Kerasal is all about.
That's important. Like I say, I've had some painful times where I've been walking around barefoot, and I've just picked up way too much dirt, and a good Epsom soak is really good. But what do you feel is the core difference that is your product compared to others that are on the market?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean,
that's what they pay me for. The great questions.
And it's interesting that you should talk about like where it actually becomes painful, because and it's really fascinating. I read a lot of the Amazon reviews to get those consumer verbatims, and sometimes people's heels could get so severe they develop these deep fissures, and they become like really cracked and painful. It sounds exactly like what you were talking about. So where Kerasal is different is moisturizers just kind of spread around on the skin. You're just kind of moving them around on the skin. Where Kerasal and the intensive foot repair in particular is different in that it actually deeply penetrates and it exfoliates. So it loosens up all that dry, hard skin, and it enables like a new layer to appear. So really it's that exfoliating and that deep level of moisturization. And then the fact that you could actually visibly see a difference after just one use, that's what makes Kerasal different.
Wow. So you sent me a ton of products. Run us through the product line. Like, what are some of the variants of and uses of some of the different things that are in there?
So basically the way we break it out is we have a host of nail-oriented products and then a host of foot-oriented products. So on the foot side, I've been talking a lot about the intensive foot repair. And we actually have a couple of different versions of that. We have a base item, the intensive foot repair, but then we actually also even have a nighttime version. And what's kind of interesting about it is it's a nice way to kind of add to your nighttime routine. It has like soothing chamomile and lavender and essential oil. So it's a nice, relaxing and aromatic experience that people could put on at night, and then they'll wake up the next morning and their feet will start to feel smoother and more moisturized, and even start to look better overnight. We also have, as you mentioned, we have the foot soap with the tea tree oil, and that does what a typical Epsom salt does, like you said, Chris. It kind of like soothes your achy feet, but it really goes beyond that to hydrate and soften the feet as well as cleanse and deodorize. And like all of our products, you start to see that visible difference. So even after one soak, your feet will just look and feel better. So that's a key component of the soap. We also have these foot masks, which is kind of interesting. So and they're very luxurious as well. They're like these premium cotton masks, and so it's really like an at-home pedicure. And so, like, let's say, what's your favorite Netflix show you feel like binge watching? You turn it on, you throw on the masks, and you kick back, nice glass of wine. So it's not just for your mom, it's for everyday folks who just want to kind of take a little bit better care of themselves, and they gently exfoliate and loosen up that dry skin, and it's a really nice experience. So it's
still wear them during podcasts.
Yeah, in fact, I could be wearing them right now, Chris.
Oh wow! Well, there you go.
So those are some of the foot care products. The other product that we have that's kind of interesting is this Daily Defense Wash, and I'm not sure if we
you did
one of these.
Yeah.
And what's nice about this is I keep it in the shower, and it's just part of that whole cleanliness regimen and just a part of my daily routine. So you shampoo, you wash your body, and this is really nice because it makes your feet really healthy and clean and smell good, and it kind of washes away all those germs and bacteria and skin surface fungus that you may have. So consumers really enjoy this. Has like a 4.7 star rating on Amazon. It's really yeah, consumers really seem to love it. We also have this nighttime mask, foot mask, which is kind of fun. It actually has a warming property to it. So in addition to exfoliating and moisturizing, it actually warms up your feet and gives you a nice toasty feeling before you go to bed. It's really very luxurious and enjoyable from an experience standpoint.
I'm gonna have my feet wear I'm gonna have my feet wear the foot mask at Halloween. I don't know what that means. Stupid jokes that we do on the show. It was pretty interesting. There was like a whole mess of products. My sister in a care center has the fungus toe problem, so my mom's going to go see if that's going to help her. And of course, she has a lot of circulation issues, having MS and stuff. So she's going to see if that can help. And then I think she was going to try a lot of the products. So I might go steal some of the products back from her, actually, now that I'm hearing about them. But she's usually good at testing stuff like that. But yeah, you got to take care of your feet. I think I read sometimes there's muscles in your feet or what do they call them? Touch points or something. There's chakra points or something.
Pressure points. Yeah.
Yeah, they go to your liver and your kidneys, and I know that I think we reviewed a product here from one of these massage companies. They sent us a foot massager, and you put your feet into it, and man, that thing can make you go to a new level of high in your brain. There, you're just like, wow, the pretty colors. So feet are important. Last time I checked.
Yes, incredibly.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and keep them around. They'll try and keep me around. I think one of us is trying to stick with the other or something.
You guys work together.
We're trying to. It's a team effort, yeah. And that's why you got to take care of your feet. You got to do this thing. I know that tea tree oil is really a great healer of things, and it's a great moisturizer too, as well, I guess.
Yeah, it has like really nice restorative properties to it. Tea tree oil, and it's a nice way to kind of infuse a natural ingredient into your foot care health regimen. And it just really smells very nice and refreshing as well. So that's why we try and infuse and enrich a lot of our products with tea tree oil.
Yeah, and I know women are really connected to their bodies. They like their skin to feel good when they feel good, or their bodies feel good, their skin looks good, they feel good. You know, I mean, feet aren't the most attractive thing. Depend upon your feet, I suppose. I shouldn't be feet judgmental. But you know, you got to take care of your feet. I mean, like I said, I've had times where they gotten really black and nasty from walking around and you know, not taking good care of them. They get dried up, maybe, especially in the days when I used to, you know, have a vodka or two. There was a lot of dehydration in my body going on.
Yes.
And, you know, you gotta keep stuff moisturized and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the other thing is, you know, we're heading into now the spring and summer season where people are going to wear more open toe shoes and sandals and go to the beach, and people, you know, don't want to be self-conscious about how their feet look. So that's where Kerasal could really help out in terms of visibly improving the appearance of how your feet and your toenails look, so that they look nice and healthy. Because it's almost like how healthy your feet are and how good your feet look. It's almost a representation of how people take care of themselves. So you always want them to look and feel as good as possible.
There you go. Now, you guys have a multi-purpose nail repair I see on your website. About 2 years ago, I dropped a weight on my big toe and pretty much purpled it, and the nail eventually came off, and I was really worried that I was going to have some real problems with it. But it seems over time that the nail grew back, and it seems to be repairing itself, and it's not this nasty thing that it was for about a year or so. But I guess this would have been probably a good product for me to have back then.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you should say that, because I've actually read a few Amazon consumer reviews for that product where people have talked about, oh, I dropped a bowling ball or I dropped a hammer on my toe and it got really thick and discolored.
Yeah.
So the beauty of the Kerasal multi-purpose nail repair is that a lot of times, whether it be an injury or an accident like that, or the people just aren't necessarily always sure of what the causal factor is behind their nail damage. So that's where Kerasal multi-purpose nail repair comes in, because it's basically, if your nail is not looking good and you're just not sure of what the cause is, it could be like an injury, like you said, it could be fungus damage, it could be, oh, I went to the manicurist and they didn't clean the tools well, or it could just be people getting older and thicker, more ridges. The beauty of multi-purpose nail repair is, hey, I'm not sure what the problem is, but if I put this on, it's going to reduce the discoloration, it's going to help normalize the thickness, it's going to smooth things out, hydrate those brittle, thick, discolored nails.
There you go. Yeah, I could have used that for a year. It was really bad. My business partner years ago, when we were really young, he'd done something to his nail to tear it off, and it never did go back right. And he was always having problems with it. And so it's really important to be able to, you know, take care of your nails. I mean, because they don't grow right, or you have different issues, or ingrown toenails. Those are no fun. I used to have ingrown toenails if I wore sneakers that were too tight. And I have some issues with my feet. I have toes like fingers. So they're really long and they're easy to get stepped on by anything. Like I have to, anytime my dogs are running around me, I have to like lift them up and be like, I don't get stepped on. And so taking care of your feet, your nails, your toes, all these things are really important. You guys had a contest during Foot Care Awareness Month seeking the most beautiful feet, and I'm angry because I didn't win. No, I'm kidding. I didn't send them in. Where can people go to see the finalists and winners, and how did the contest go? I mean, you're having people send you pictures of their feet, eh?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, we wanted to have a little bit of fun. I mean, feet are kind of interesting. They're kind of quirky. And so as part of that National Foot Care Health Awareness Month, we ran this contest and we asked consumers, are you photogenic? And so we encouraged people to send in pictures of their feet, and we got hundreds of submissions. I mean, it was actually really a lot of fun, and people really kind of leaned into it and embraced the kind of tongue-in-cheek fun that we were having with it. And as part of the encouragement, the incentive, not only are we going to make them the Kerasal Foot Care Model of the Year in 2024, but we're giving the winner $1,000 in gift certificates towards footwear, as well as a year's supply of Kerasal. So we got hundreds of applicants. Then we so that was in April. And then for the first couple of weeks in May, on Kerasal.com, we had people vote. And that way, on the finalists, to develop a final list that we're ultimately going to declare over the next couple of weeks who that winner is, and then we're going to publicize and celebrate them for having won this fun contest.
There you go. Maybe you can put them on the cover of a magazine, The Foot Model of the Year. They could be on what are those big magazines, Vogue.
Yes.
Just instead of like I don't know, whoever they put up there, Giselle is a big Bunchen is a big model, supermodel. Maybe you could just have like a giant foot on the cover of Vogue. I'd pay to see that. That'd be funny as hell, I think. I don't know. But then isn't beautiful feet subjective? Maybe I'm doing that for my own feet. I'm trying to egalitarianism that.
Right. We welcomed all foot shapes, sizes, ages. Foot beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder. I mean, so we didn't really want to discriminate or set any sort of specific criteria like that. So we really kind of left it open, and we really let the people decide actually in the voting.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah,
well.
and so we didn't really want to dictate it. We really wanted to hear from the people and get them engaged and understand what consumers think, because at the end of the day, Kerasal is all about listening to consumers and hearing about what do they want for their feet and what do they see as beautiful feet, and how can we help them in their journey of having the most beautiful, healthy looking feet.
There you go. Do you have any products for foot and mouth disease? I have that disease a lot, especially around the ex-wives.
I hear you. I'm going to have to add that to the list, Chris. That and
there's
mind and
sell millions right there.
I think we're onto something.
I think we are. I want to cut the action on that. What's the secret to building a great product line? Something that's getting done reviewed well on Amazon that the consumers seem to like, and is a unique product that stands out amongst competitors. What's the secret to that?
I think the secret is really listening to the consumer.
What? No, I'm just kidding.
I got you. And I think it's really listening and understanding what are they looking for. And at the end of the day, consumers really want to see a visible difference in the condition of their feet. So really listening and developing products that meet those consumer needs around making a difference in how their feet look. Mm-hmm. Because if you're going to invest the time, you really want to see a result. So the key for Kerasal is actually delivering on the brand promise of seeing visible results. So that's really been the key to the success. And then making consumers aware that the product exists. So we invest in TV advertising, in Google search, in public relations, things like that. So making consumers aware that we've been listening and now delivering on that promise. And I think the ultimate thing at the end of the day is that consumers have been satisfied. And when they're satisfied, they share. And so we've seen some really terrific sharing of positive consumer experiences having used our products. A couple of years ago, one of our products actually went viral from a TikTok video where a nurse shared her positive experience of using Kerasal, and she showed the before and after, and our sales just exploded. So I think if you build it and deliver on that consumer promise, you could really build a successful brand.
There you go. I was Googling foot jokes here on the show. You guys probably just tell foot jokes all day to each other there at the work, don't you?
I could be a bit of a heel.
I knew there was a setup going down there. What do you call where'd this joke go? What do you call a business started by a foot? A sole proprietorship. Get it? SOLE. That's not that funny, but I thought it was an interesting segue. Yeah, so you probably get a lot of. Maybe you should do a contest for who has the best feet joke or foot joke. Or
we do a lot of puns. We inadvertently walk into a lot of puns, and
walk into a lot of puns,
so to speak. So yeah, Chris, you're setting me up for some good jokes.
Yeah, well, that's I can't think of any good jokes. I'm going through a list here of best feet puns and jokes. So there you go. But it's interesting. I mean, how many years has the company been in business?
So Advantice Health is a company that's we've been around for several years. The ownership has changed hands a couple of times recently, but the brands themselves have been around for decades.
There you go. What's the future you guys are working on? I mean, other than that foot and mouth disease medicine I just suggested.
Well, one of the things that we've been really excited about is the convenience that we've been bringing to nail care with these patches. So this has been very innovative and very well received by consumers. So they're patches, and we launched these last year. They're nighttime fungal nail renewal patches. So for instance, you had that damaged nail, you would put this on before you go to bed, and it would really work while you sleep. So that convenience and experience of putting these medicated patches on the toes when people go to bed has been really well received, and it's led us to actually launch a multi-purpose version of the patch. And this could be on fingernails or toenails. So, and it could be worn, throughout the day. And so basically, this is that similar consumer need where maybe not sure of what the damage is. Is it fungus? Is it did I injure myself? But my nails don't look the way I want them to. So these patches, whether you wear them at night or during the day, the multi-purpose, they've been really well received. So we're really expanding the patch format for Kerasal.
There you go. Well, I mean, when you sleep at night, that's when your body does all its healing. Like I can look like I do now, and then when I wake up in the morning, I look like Brad Pitt. It's just, especially if you get that 8-hour sleep. But that's when your body does all its cell, I think, regeneration or whatever. I'm not really sure what my body's doing at night, but there's something going on there. But I tend to lose weight if I get my 8 hours of sleep. I know you feel refreshed and your body's done some cell regeneration or some sort of replacement or recycling. I think there's recycling that's going on. I think that's what's up. Like cans are being taken out in the back or something, that sort of thing. So yeah, repairing your feet. I can see where putting a patch on there overnight. I know a lot of times when I would go to bed, when my feet were really dry, I'd put some moisture on them and God, like, sometimes your feet would be so dry, you put some moisturizer on them, and it's just like your brain just goes, "Oh, thank God, geez, you're killing me here, buddy." And it's just such a relief. And then when you can go to bed and rest and wake up the next morning, you feel so much better. And it just makes all the difference in the world, really.
Yeah, it's been an interesting consumer dynamic, especially during the pandemic when people got more into self-care.
Yeah.
And so they had the time in a lot of cases to really take more of a DIY approach to self-care. And what we saw was foot care actually became part of the self-care trend. And that's when consumers just started to take better care of themselves. And that included taking care of their feet and their nails, their fingernails and toenails. And so Kerasal's been a big part of that DIY trend of self-care within foot care.
Do you ever think of making face masks or anything like that? Some people do have a face like a foot. Usually that's what they call me. My mom used to call me that when I was a child.
We're going to have to add that to the board, Chris.
Yeah, there you go. That's like money. Plus I got a giant face. So, it's like twice the size of my foot, I think. I don't know. I've got those feet that are like, I got one that I inherited this from my father. I've got one that's a 14-inch foot, one's a 13-inch foot, but the 13-inch foot is wide.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad used to have, back in the day, this is the 60s and 70s, he had to have Vans in California make him custom shoes because he had a really wide foot on one foot. So,
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was because one foot was slimmer because he was kicking us kids in the butt, but that's a different story. That's a different show, actually. I don't know. He was a nice dad. I'm just teasing people. My dad really didn't kick me. It was mostly belt action. You know, I had one of those dads. He'd shake the belt whenever don't make me take this off. But there you go.
Yep.
Anyway, anything more you have touched on, or anything you want to tease out about the product line before we go?
Yeah, I mean, I just as people are heading into spring and summer, definitely consider Kerasal in terms of getting their feet beach ready, sandal ready. Check us out on Amazon, Walmart, Target. We're in all major retailers, and Kerasal's here to help when it comes to feet and looking healthy and beautiful.
There you go. I mean, I don't worry too much about feet. Like, I'm not picking up a lot of chicks with my feet. Maybe I should start putting my feet on my Tinder profile. Maybe not. I don't think that's going to work out for me with my toes. But, the thing about my long toes is I've always been like, well, if I ever lose one of those fingers in a machine shop accident, they can take one of my toes and put it on, and probably no one will notice the difference. I mean, I am not kidding you. I have incredibly long toes. In fact, one of my problems is they get crushed if someone steps on them because they're sticking out so far and they're doing the thing. But I know a lot of women. It's really important to have beautiful toes. They like to be ready for the bikini weather, and so everything's about attractiveness and beauty. So it's important to beautify your toes, but it's also important to make sure your skin's healthy. I mean, I think what is it? Your skin's your largest membrane or your largest organ, I think, or something like that. I clearly flunked biology, but it's an important thing. Last time I checked, anytime you sunburn your skin or cut it, you realize, hey, I should probably keep the skin thing around. This seems like a good idea.
Absolutely.
There you go. Take care of yourself. Any last parting thoughts, Dave, before we go?
No, I really appreciate you having me on, Chris. It's really been a pleasure chatting with you and getting to know you. And I checked out a bunch of your other podcasts. I really enjoyed them.
Thanks.
So thank you so much for the opportunity, and it was really a pleasure.
It was a pleasure to have you as well, Dave. Give us your .coms where we want people to look you guys up on the interwebages.
Yeah, so I would really encourage people to go to Kerasal.com and really on Amazon to search up Kerasal, and you'll see our very broad line of offerings on Amazon, and as well as check us out at Walmart, your favorite drugstore. We're pretty much accessible in any of those places. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and you can get in on that foot sweepstakes thing, the foot competition.
Absolutely. Yes.
I think it would be hilarious. I mean, they just put 80-year-old Martha Stewart on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Let's put a foot on the cover of Vogue and Elle magazine. Let's do it.
Let's do it, Chris.
Let's do it. Just a giant foot, and I don't even know what the most beautiful foot is supposed to look. Maybe I need to know what the most beautiful foot is. Maybe I need to know what I'm looking for on Tinder. Maybe we need to start a whole new thing of foot beauty.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. I think there's probably some people that are into that. Anyway, guys, it's been fun to have you on. Dave, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks so much, Chris. Have a good night.
There you go. Thanks, Monis, for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time. That should have us out, Dave.